Welcome back to Memory Lost Rider. We are just going for a cruise today. I finally got my bike back out of the shop, and I'm extremely happy. I can finally open this bike up, which makes me feel really good about it. You know, I have been waiting so long to where I finally get the chance to really see where this bike shines, and now we're going to be able to do it. So, you know, I will say, the shop that this thing was in, so from what I read for the CF Moto lineup, and it should be the same for Suzuki, Kawasaki, Honda, Yamaha, all them, is that I do have to get my bike serviced by an actual CF Moto dealer as far as my first maintenance service goes. And then after that, you know, I can do whatever I want with the rest. So for the first service, I took it to the shop that I bought my bike from, which is Dothan Power Sports. Buying the bike from them, great time. I had an absolutely fantastic time buying my bike from them. Great people. They have pretty good product when it comes to jackets, helmets, gloves, accessories, and not just for motorcycles, for dirt bikes, four-wheelers, UTVs, you know, anything, boats, boat ramps, all types of stuff. They have all types of stuff in sale for there. I live in the south, so snowmobiles, stuff like that, not going to exist around here. But with them, I will say, is my airflow on? Oh, it should be off. Okay, yeah. I'll say with them, with that fact, let me get up on it. Well, I was going to really gun it, but I'm not going to do it just yet. But with them having great products to buy, I, you know, finally hit my 600-mile mark on the bike, and I took it up there. I emailed them first and was like, hey, you know, I'm ready for my you know, first maintenance to be done. Can we set up an appointment and I can drop the bike off? You know, I have trips coming up. I didn't tell them about the trips that I have coming up, but you know, I do have trips coming up. I was supposed to have a big one tomorrow. I was supposed to be going on a poker run, but it is supposed to storm all day, and I do not like the rain, because that is how I lost my memory on a motorcycle in rain. So I'm not a fan of it. So that sort of got canceled. But other than that, I do have other trips coming up, and I hope to God the rain does not cancel them out as well. But you know, the shop told me they emailed me back in the morning, because I sent this late at night, and they emailed me back in the morning, and they were like, hey, you know, bring it in whenever you're ready. We're ready for you. And I said, okay, cool. So I brought it in on a Tuesday afternoon after 5 o'clock, which is when I got off work. And I brought the bike in, and, you know, I asked them, I already knew how much it was going to cost and all, but I asked them, I said, when will my bike be done? I would like, you know, it's a brand new bike to me. I want to ride. And I was like, when will it be done? You know, I'd like to ride it. And they said, this was a Tuesday afternoon. They go, well, we should have it done by Friday or Saturday. I said, okay, cool. You know, they said the weekend, but that mainly meant Friday or Saturday, because most all bike shops are closed on Sundays and Mondays. So, you know, I said, cool. I dropped the bike off, and Friday rolled around, and I called them, and I was just like, hey, you know, I know y'all said it's probably going to be done today or tomorrow. I just want to do a checkup on my bike and all. And they were like, oh yeah, you know, they got my information to see what bike I was on. And I told them, I was like, I dropped it off Tuesday, so you know, I'm just doing my checkup. And they were like, yeah, we haven't started on your bike at all. And I was like, wow, okay, so it's been sitting up there for 3 days. I could have been riding for those 3 days and just waited for y'all to say you're ready to start on it, and then I will bring it by. And I know, you know, my bike being dropped off earlier means it gets put on a list faster. But when my bike dropped off, there was really no other, there was like 3 other vehicles there that I want to say were already completed, waiting to be picked up. So, you know, they said we should have it done. We're going to either start on it today, which was a Friday that I called, or tomorrow, which was the Saturday after. And I said, okay. I didn't bother them all the weekends. Tuesday rolled around. It's been a week now since I haven't had the bike. And to remind you, we were having actually some pretty beautiful weather come through, and I was like, man, this really sucks. I can make videos in this weather, but I don't have my bike. And I'm not fully comfortable enough just making like vlog, holding the camera out facing me yet. You know, that'll come in the future, but right now I'm just not that comfortable yet. And I'm still learning how to record and all that, and how to edit this stuff, and get my audio in really good. And all. And so, you know, Tuesday came around and I called them and I said, or I know I went up there on my lunch and I was like, hey, you know, I'm just checking up on my bike. You said it was supposed to be done hopefully over the weekends and all, so, you know, I'm just wanting to do a checkup. And the service manager that I was dealing with, he's a bit of a pain in my ass. He truly was. And he was like, oh yeah, you know, we're just now finalizing paperwork today. And in my mind, I heard that, made me think like, oh, they're done. You know, I can now I can pick up my bike this afternoon, or I'll go home, grab my helmet, leave my car up there at the dealer, and pick up my bike, ride it back to work, and you know, after work, take my bike home, have someone bring me to my car. And so, like, you know, like, I was excited when I heard that, so I was like, oh sweet. And I said, okay, well, when can I pick it up? He goes, no, we finalized the paperwork, as in we're going to start on it hopefully today. And I said, so you haven't started on my bike yet, and it's been a week? And they're like, no, we haven't. And I'm just like, well, I said, okay, man, well, can you give me an idea of when will I have my bike back? Because I did just drop a bunch of money on this bike. I want to ride. I didn't buy a bike to sit in a shop for weeks on end. I owned previous bikes that did that sat in my garage while I was trying to figure out what was wrong with them for weeks and months. In the previous videos, the Katana that I had, the Katana 750, it sat for 5 months. I could not figure out what was wrong with it. I finally figured it out, and I was pissed off. It was spark plugs. But I didn't think it was them because they were brand new a week prior to the bike going down. My Gixxer that I had before that, my Gixxer 1000, it had a lot of problems. The worst problem was the motor had a 10-inch crack in the lower crankcase. So, you know, be that as it may. And then my Shadow 750 before that, you know, I didn't have a title to that. I didn't really have anything for that bike. So there was one of the reasons I didn't really drive it much, or I didn't keep it for long. But, you know, so I got this bike. I got a brand new bike. I had the money to buy my dream bike, and I didn't, because I wanted something new, something reliable. I ain't got to mess with a lot. I don't have to worry about anyone else touching as far as other owners and messing with the wiring or messing with any of the internals that I don't know about or there's no paperwork on. So that's why I got a new bike. And that's why I want to ride my new bike like I am now. And so, you know, when they're sitting there telling, the manager was sitting there going, you know, I can't give you an accurate representation of when it will be done. He was basically like, you know, you're going to get it when you get it, in a way. And he was just being rude about it. And so anyways, you know, the manager was just being a douche. And I looked at it as when I asked him for the third time, you know, can you give me the exact date? And then I finally told him, like, hey man, I got a ride coming up this weekend. Like, I would like to take the bike that I bought on this ride. And he finally got really smart ass with me, really smart aleck with me. And he was like, you know what, I'll have it done by Friday, when I told him I had a ride to go on Saturday. And I was like, all right, it doesn't sound that bad when I'm explaining it, but the way he said it, the grin that he had on his face, I took it differently. There we go, there's that pool that I wanted. Oh, I've been wanting one of these pools for so long. Is this gravel up ahead? Because I surely hope not. A little bit of dirt don't hurt. We gotta get gas though. Time to get gasoline. Yep, I could not get gas because it wouldn't take my card for some stupid reason. So I'm just gonna go to a different gas station. I have enough to make it somewhere else. Let's get on it again though. I'll admit, this is probably the fastest I've ever been on a bike. Even on my Jetsure 1000, I was not really that much of a fan of speed, and I almost messed this up in first gear because I accidentally clutched way too early, and I felt it, and I kind of squinched my my butthole a little bit. But so yeah, he didn't notice me. Oh man, I thought I had a friend. So anyways, the manager was really rude about it. So, you know, my instant thought was, screw this, they haven't touched my bike yet. I'm not going to sit here and wait around for my bike to finally be touched when they feel like it. And the way the manager came off, he didn't care about me, he didn't care about my bike. He wanted me to go away and leave him alone. And like, I kind of understand I've been pestering him, but at the same time, I want to know what's going on with my bike. They haven't touched it at all. So, you know, just for advice, I called my dad, and you know, I talked to him about it, and he was like, pull your bike out. And I said, I'm going to. I'm not going to sit here and wait all day long, all week, when I have events coming up, rides and stuff that I have planned to take this bike on when these are all coming up. And you know, and I can't take them at all. And so, you know, I'm kind of being forced to play my own hand, deal by my rule, in a way. And is the shop open? Nope, he is not open. That's one of the bike, not like that's a motorcycle shop I know about. My work, I deliver parts to them. But the way he went about just doing everything, you know, I'm not doing that. So I told my dad, yeah, I got advice from him, and I was like, you know, I do have to have a certified CF Moto dealer do it, and there's two or three others near me. They're not super close, but they're like only an hour drive away. And I'll drive an hour on this bike. I'll take it somewhere an hour away if it means it's going to be done quicker. So I called one down in Florida, and they were like $400 for them to do it. And I was like, nope, I'm not spending $400. I'm only spending $320 with this with my dealer. And so there's one up an hour away north of me, and I called them, and they were like, well, I'm sorry, man, we're only you know, we mainly only do ATVs and side-by-sides from CF Moto. And I was like, oh man, that sucks. And the guy was super nice though, and he's like, but, you know, tell me your VIN number and I'll look into it for you. So I told him my VIN, and he goes, you know, I'm gonna call you back. And so time goes by, he calls me back like 10-15 minutes later, and he was like, hey man, I got good news, I can do that for you. And I said, really? He goes, yeah, it'd be about $300. I said, okay, that's cheaper. I mean, yeah, I gotta take the bike an hour away, but this bike's gonna cost me $7 to do that, so I'm gonna save about $13. But I asked the guy, I said, well man, you know, I know you can't give me the exact time rate on it, but when I drop it off, you know, how long do you think it would take you to do it? And he goes, now this was all on a Tuesday when I called, and he was like, hey man, I'm busy for the next week. I'm gonna be straight up with you, I'm busy for the rest of this week. I said, all right. He goes, but if you drop it off Monday, then I'll have it done by Tuesday. And I was like, dude, that's a steal right there. I'm gonna get my bike back in one day. So I was like, all right, you know what? If my bike's not out by Thursday, we'll do it. And you know, and so then I called my mom about it and told her, and I was like, hey, what do you think I should do? And she goes, you know, I told her the whole situation, and she was like, you know, she got really pissed off because she helped me tow sign for this bike, and she was like, you know, I'm gonna hang up on you, and I'm gonna go call them, and I'm gonna raise hell. That's how my mom is. She's gonna raise hell. And I was like, okay, you know, I've heard stories about what she's done in the past, and it's not like she's not like no mob member or anything, but she's really persuasive, and she wants her way. She's going to get her way, in a sense, in a nutshell. And so I said, okay. And you know, and so she called them, like, I don't know, 5 minutes goes by. She calls me back and she goes, I can almost guarantee you'll have your bike by Thursday. And I was like, good God, what did you say to them? And she said she talked to them and explained the whole situation. She talked to a different manager that was higher than the service department manager. And she was like, basically, they agree that the service department manager he's a pain. He's a pain in the butt. And they were like, so they can't promise anything, but they're highly positive my bike will be in my possession by Thursday afternoon. And I said, well, perfect, thank you. Next day, I get a phone call at like 12 o'clock-ish, and they were like, hey, you know, hey Peyton, your bike's ready for pickup. And I was like, oh, dang. All I had to do this whole time was send her into it. I could have had my bike back a day later. So I couldn't really think of anything else to talk about today. Plus, I wanted to give like some update why there hasn't been a video, because I would like to get on to if the weather becomes a little bit more fair, because we have been getting a lot, and I mean a lot of rain. I would like to get into at least 1 to 2 videos a week. At the minimum 1 to 2, hopefully 3 if I can start pushing it a little bit heavier. After work, I don't get much time to really edit, or I don't get much time to make a video, but I'm still going to try to start pushing for 1 to 2 videos a week. And with that being said, y'all, I will see you later.